Hello my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I have another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys. And today, thanks to the publisher and NetGalley, we are talking about The Prisoner by B.A. Paris. Now, this was my first book by B.A. Paris, but I've heard a lot about her books. I've heard other people talk about them. I believe The Therapist is one, Behind Closed Doors is another, and I know people have enjoyed them from what I've heard. They're very popular. So I was excited to get to finally dip my toes in and read one of her books. So this one comes out, I believe, on November 1st. So we're going to keep this spoiler free and as brief as possible, but I've got some thoughts to share. So let's first just get into a very quick synopsis. The Prisoner is literally about that. We meet a woman named Emily, I hope is how that's pronounced. And when we first meet her, she is being held prisoner, literally. She's in a dark room, in a dark house. The doors are locked. There's a bathroom with a little tiny light that's on a timer. And she spends her days there. She's not sure at first quite why she's there or where she is, but we also know that her husband, Ned Hawthorpe, has been kidnapped and is being held, I think, in the room below hers. And he comes from a very wealthy family, like millionaires or billionaires perhaps. His father owns a foundation, and he just comes from a lot of money. So they're being held for ransom, allegedly. But the thing about Ned is that he's not very well liked, not by anybody, his wife included, and especially not by his father. So, you know, Emily's a little worried that maybe his dad's not going to pay the ransom. So the story's told in two timelines. The present one, which again gets a little repetitive. She's doing a lot of pacing, a lot of panicking, a lot of sitting in the dark. Then the other timeline is the past, which, as we're reading, we find out varies over about a 2-year period. And we learn that Emily, she came to London, where the book is set, from Paris when she was 17, and she's 21 now, I think. 20 or 21 now in the present. So she came when she was 17 because her father had died. That was her last living family member. And she needs a new start. So she comes over, and right off the bat, she meets a woman named Carolyn, who's an older woman in her 30s, and she can tell that Emily is suffering, so she gives her a job as a housekeeper, and they quickly become fast friends. Emily lives there. Carolyn introduces her to all of her 30-year-old friends, and they all find a soft spot for her, and they treat her like a little sister, and she can't believe her luck. She can't believe it. And it's through those women that she meets the man she eventually marries. So you've got the present timeline where there's a lot of pacing and a lot of darkness, and then you get in the past timeline where we're figuring out why, if she's not that fond of Ned in the first place, did she marry him. And I will tell you right off the bat that this book, the chapters are very short, which I love, especially in a thriller, because it keeps the pace moving so quickly, and it did that perfectly. The book kept me guessing. I couldn't put it down. I had to wait and see what was going to happen. It took me a few days to get into it. The first couple of chapters are a little slow, but then once I was in it, I finished it in a day. So now here's where we get to my sort of part of the review, the part of the book. First of all, the ending. The ending left a lot to be desired. This book was sent to me in an ebook format, so when I read the last page, I turned it thinking there would be another chapter, and there wasn't. It's not even that it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, it's not like The Push by Ashley Audrain that left me gasping at the end. This just left me feeling really unsatisfied, and I couldn't believe that it was the end. Aside from that, the twist at the end wasn't a twist to me because I thought it was pretty plain to see earlier on in the book, and that has to do with who her captors are. There's one scene in particular when Amelie says something or thinks something, I think she's thinking it, so we know it, but the captor doesn't know when he's in with her, and she thinks something, and to me, that told me who the captor was. That correctly told me who the captor was, that one sentence. So I don't know. I don't know, because then you're like, oh, okay. So then that's revealed later, what I already knew from a very specific line. Then the reveal comes at the end of the book. And I was like, okay. So then I was expecting a final twist. And it's sort of set up to be a final twist because there's something mentioned a few times at the very end. I'm like, okay, that's going to be the final twist, who this person is. And then it just ends. The reveal was common knowledge, I thought. And then we don't get the final answer to the final question of who that final person is. I don't know if there's supposed to be a sequel. I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be a standalone. But I found the ending very unsatisfying. But that's just me. The beautiful thing about stories and books is that we will all read something and we will all take something different away from it. That's why, if I watch a friend of mine give a, less than stellar review to a book, if it sounds interesting to me, I'll still read it and maybe I'll love it. Or if a friend gives a rave review to a book, I'll give it a read and I'll be like, this was not for me. So I would recommend still reading it, especially if you've read B.A. Paris in the past and you enjoyed her. Give this one a read. And I'd be interested if you've read it, whether now or you're seeing this video after the book has come out and you've read the book. Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the ending and what are your thoughts on the twists? Did you pick up that sort of midway point tell of who the captor was? Let me know. Maybe I was just correctly reading more into it than was there. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, fast-paced, kept me guessing. The ending just wasn't for me. But I'm still going to give it probably 3.5 stars. So, but yeah, let me know if you have seen it and if you have, what you thought of it. Did I say seen it or read it? Anyway, that's going to do it for me for today. But I do have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I've heard people talking about this for years. It's made a resurgence right now. Super popular. So I'm going to be doing a video on this where I read it for the first time. I'm very excited. I might do a reading vlog. I've never done one of those before, but I see so many of the booktubers that I love do them, and I thought maybe I'll give it a try too. And this seemed like a really good one to do that for, since I know it has a ton of rabid fans that love it. Plus, I've got high hopes because I've enjoyed Donna Tartt's work in the past, like The Goldfinch. I loved that book, so I'm excited for this one. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below again if you've read this. Have you read The Secret History? Let's have a chat, and I will see you guys again real soon. Bye.